Every once in a while you come across an action figure that is so egregiously weird and messed up that you just can't wrap your head around what in the world the person was thinking when they greenlit the idea. This is the top 10 action figures that make me scream, what the What's up, everybody? My name is Matt, often called Big Nerdy. We are the NWO, the Nerd World Order, and this is Nerdzoic. In the history of entertainment and toys in general, many decisions have been made that make it question the sanity of the person making decisions. Some of these decisions we can look back at and chuckle at the stupidity of them, while others we wonder how it was ever socially acceptable. Some of these figures were meant to be tongue-in-cheek, but you know what? They still made the list. Let's go to number 10. Coming in at number 10 is Jean Grey with a mutated Senator Kelly. This is from the X-Men toy line that came out with the original X-Men movie back in 2000. This toy line sticks out to me because I vividly remember them clogging the pegs at KB Toys from the time the movie was released until years later when they were sold for pennies on the dollar at KB's clearance closing sale. The line as a whole was largely hit and miss, mostly miss, but it was a precursor to what would become the behemoth Marvel Legends line that we know and love today. This figure was clearly one of the misses, and at a time when the figures were more aimed towards children than collectors, you have to wonder what the hell Toy Biz was thinking when they put a mutated, melted Senator Kelly in the package. Like seriously, this is the stuff that kids' nightmares are made of. Coming in at number 9 is the WCW Ringmaster's Chris Jericho. Chris Jericho is known for having reinvented himself many times over the years with new gimmick after new gimmick. This wasn't one of them. Yes, he was the Lionheart for a while. That was his little nickname, but he was never a freaking lion tamer. Some of you might remember this Toy Biz Ringmasters line for such amazing figures as Hollywood director Hulk Hogan and construction worker Goldberg, and who can forget mobster Bret the Hitman Hart. You might be wondering, hey Big Nerdy, if this Chris Jericho figure's so bad, how come the Bret Hart or the Hogan or the Goldberg didn't make the list? I'll tell you why. Because while these figures of the other wrestlers are stupid, it's not their only figure. That's right, this was the very first Chris Jericho figure. So if you were a Chris Jericho superfan back in the late 90s and you wanted a Jericho figure, this is what you got. Coming in at number 8 is Farmer Michelangelo from the Playmates Ninja Turtles toy line. Oh Playmates, your creative well must be completely empty when you start coming out with occupational gimmick Turtles figures. Perhaps the vocational gimmicks in the 90s in the WWF was a direct result of Vince McMahon's love for this Ninja Turtles line and this Michelangelo figure, but probably not. As much as I love the current NECA toy line that they're doing that's Target exclusive, which I don't love, I gotta wonder how long until NECA reaches this level of desperation. When are we gonna see the Farmer Michelangelo and Farmer Donatello in the NECA line? Feel free to poorly distribute those figures, NECA, because I don't care. Coming in at number 7 is Pepsi Man, and if this makes you think of Duff Man, that's probably because that's what he's based off of. From the marketing minds that brought you such gems as Crystal Pepsi, Pepsi Fire, and Pepsi White comes the mascot and eventual action figure that you never knew you didn't need. Pepsi Man! I mean, it makes perfect sense. How could you ever beat Coca-Cola without Pepsi Man? This was made by Bandai and it came with little mini Pepsi cans and of course a metal chain necklace made of real metal because literally in the 90s, all of us boys had one, Big Nerdy included. It's bad enough that they made this figure, but it wasn't just a figure. It was a whole series of Pepsi Man, Pepsi Men, I guess. I don't know. At least this was aware of its own stupidity and showed so much in its naming conventions. Coming in at number 6 is the Masters of the Universe, Molar. Relentlessly dedicated to his craft, Molar has been known to travel to the gates of Snake Mountain itself to insist his clients keep their appointments. Seriously? I bet you this guy doesn't even take insurance. Oh man, that's right. Not only is it bad enough that Eternia needs to have a dentist, but Mattel felt the need to turn it into an action figure. The only redeeming quality of Molar is that he went to dental school with 𝐒𝐨𝐥𝐿𝐴𝐚. Bet you didn't know that. And he influenced his stepdaughter to go into dental school, who you might know better as Dr. Britt Baker, DMD. Arg matey. Coming in at number 5 is First Mate Robin, made by Kenner in 1996, you know. I don't know why I'm talking like a pirate, but we got a First Mate Robin, why the hell not? This is what happens when a company starts running out of ideas. You get pirate special editions. Now, for all I know, there could be a limited comic run where there was actually a pirate storyline, but I'm doubting it. This figure just makes me think of a guy from Dodgeball who thinks he's a pirate. Your best player thinks he's a pirate. Wait a second, we got someone on the team who thinks he's a pirate? Coming in at number 4 is the Doctor Who destroyed Cassandra. I'm gonna admit this now, take my nerd card if you want, but I have never seen any Doctor Who. All I know about Doctor Who is that one of the doctors was in Jessica Jones and was amazing.
Jessica. So
with that being said, who is Cassandra? I don't have a clue, but I did some research for you. It would appear that Cassandra was a character on Doctor Who, possibly an important one. I don't really know, but I'm going to venture a guess that she was destroyed at some point. And I base that guess off of the fact that we have a figure that is a destroyed Cassandra. We have no figure, but we have the rack with what appears to be a brain in the jar, and of course, a rug with a face on it that I guess is like a skin pelt. I don't know, this is some creepy crap. WTF, anyone? Coming in at number 3 is the Maximum Sweat line. That's right, I didn't pick a single figure, I picked an entire series of figures. This was by Jakks Pacific and came out in the late 90s. The Jakks WWF WWE figure line had its highs and lows, with its highs being the now infamous Jeremy Padawer created wrestling superstars, and its lows being represented by Maximum Sweat. Now, if you're wondering, well, why would they call it Maximum Sweat? It's not like the figures sweat. Yes, they do. They made action figures that sweat, and they thought it was a good idea. Not only do they sweat, but they're geometrically not in proportion. It's a huge upper body, no lower body. Looks like Hogan in the late 80s. Because what kid doesn't want a fully jacked up upper body figure that exudes sweat or water? I don't even know what was in the little bottle. I don't want to know. In fact, what does that marketing meeting even look like? All right, we need some ideas for some new wrestling figures. I want a whole new line. Think outside the box. Who's got something? Billy? No? Jimmy, what do you got, Jimmy? I know you got something.
Hey boss, John here. What if we made action figures that were really jacked, muscular, vascular?
I like where you're going with this, but there needs to be a hook.
What if they sweat?
And thus it came to be, and they came with a little bottle of something that makes them sweat. Coming in at number 2 is Rocky's Meat, which sounds like a dirty joke or a wrestler named by Vince McMahon, but it's not. It's literally Rocky's Meat. The Rocky toy line was brought to you by Jakks Pacific, who you might remember for such gems as the Maximum Sweat line. The line started in 2006 in 6.5-inch scale with a plan to make about 50 figures, some toy belts, and a ring. In an interview around the time it was released, Jeremy Padawer, who oversaw the line and was an executive with Jakks, said that the line was actually aimed at kids with the hope that adult collectors would also fill in the gaps in the market, but I'd say that the adult collectors pretty much own this, especially now, 15 years later, when these figures are going for crazy prices on the aftermarket. Padawer also said in the same interview that the goal of some of the figures was to be humorous and kitschy, whatever the hell that means, just like the movies, and this figure shows they succeeded in that. You can also tell that they were completely milk dry on characters by the time we got Rocky's Meat. Why do I keep saying it like that? This is based off the slab of beef that Rocky trains with in the first Rocky movie, and I gotta say, I bet the cow that made that beef never knew it would be in a movie, let alone become an action figure. Alright, number 1 is so weird, so stupid, so like, what were you thinking? So like socially unacceptable that you can't say anything except what the F. Here we go. Coming in at number 1 is Samba the Dying African. Yes, folks, this is real, even though it seems like a bit off South Park.
No, Starvin' Marvin, that's my pet.
This came out in 1989 in 3 3/4 inch scale by French company Burchette Toys and was part of a line known as, let me check my notes, Messines Sans Fronteros Heroes. I think I said that right. The goal of the line was to prevent a non-violent series of action figures to kids to play with, and apparently this was meant to be the antagonist because, you know, they gotta stop people from starving. Is antagonist even the right word? That doesn't even make sense. Samba comes with a stretcher, a hot water bottle, probably comes with dysentery, and leaves you with just one thing in mind. What the F? There's probably some celebrity collectors out there who love these things. If you didn't know, there are some celebrity collectors out there, and some of them are gonna really surprise you. Check out this video here to find out what celebrities are toy nerds just like us. Till next time, remember, you have to get old, but you don't have to grow up. Just be cool and stay nerdy. Later.